Hey guys, Shards here, and today's gonna be another base build slash commentary video, or another pathetic attempt at one. Hopefully I'm more coherent, but remember I don't have a script ever, so that's why I always sound awkward and have no idea what I'm saying. So, topic of today, engineering. Yes, engineering. So this is gonna be my opinion only, so don't hate on me, please. I mean, I'm not going to try and blame anyone for it. I'm not gonna point fingers at engineer. I would say that I engineered at one point. If not engineered, then at least was a 0.5. So yeah. So engineering. I mean, it's not against terms of service, first of all. So it can't be cheating, quote unquote. But a lot of people dislike it, and for good reason. I mean, okay, I cannot build a base and do this, but obviously, if you have a Town Hall 11 with a level 1 cannon, that's gonna be an advantage in war, especially if you have max Town Hall 11s up top, because they can't go for a perfect, but you can with all your extra offensive power. And then the other problem is that I didn't mean the other problem, but on the flip side, those bases have a lot of time was put into them. You can't really say that, oh, this is just a complete advantage and they didn't deserve it. Well, they put a lot of time into it, so I'm not justifying, but on this buy sell site, and there's this defenseless Tunnel 11, I believe. It went for quite a bit, 800. So the normal Tunnel 11s, I believe, go for 350, 400. So almost twice the price. So a lot of effort put in, and I don't think it's it's a trade-off, because you're gonna get mashed and multiplayer. So you're kind of sacrificing multiplayer for war. And in a sense, I guess there are lots of arguments, but in a sense that's unfair to the opponent, because obviously the opponent doesn't get to loot your engineered base. So there's an argument that could be made, so it's unfair to the war opponent. But I don't think it's that unfair. I mean, sure, you might get the short end, but someone out there is getting free loot. So, and for the guy who's doing the count, it takes a lot of work. So that's that. So my opinion, sorry for the silence. I'm trying to focus on building a base, but my opinion for engineering is that it has to stop at a certain point. I mean, after a certain point, it's kind of ridiculous. Sure, you could have a tunnel 8.5. I was a tunnel 8.5. What feels so recent, but I was a tunnel 8.5 at one point. And I think that's fair, because it's just progressing. It's not like anything ridiculous where it's not normal progression. I mean, I eventually, obviously, now I'm like a full-time online, so it's all worked out. But like for the tunnel 11s or whatever that are like completely ridiculously defenseless, I mean, you're just doing it for only war purposes, and I think that's a little too much. I mean, Supercell, I don't think Supercell is going to take drastic action, if any action, on these engineered bases because I mean I don't find them to be too pesky. Like Legacy Division has quite a few that aren't like super engineered, but engineered enough to make some people angry. And personally, I don't think that engineering is like should be treated as cheating and quote unquote not fair play. I mean, fair play is literally just following TOS, terms of service. So I wouldn't go so extreme as to call it like cheating. Oops. Like there are some people who would actually scoff at a clan calling themselves fair play and then using engineered accounts. So yeah, it's there's definitely a fine line. Hmm. I mean, I didn't even find it that gratifying as an engineer. So I don't know how other people feel about it, but like for me, you always got smashed on defense, and that was kind of like the trade-off. So sure, you were okay at offense, but then defense comes around and you just getting completely mashed. And so it's like okay, it's a trade-off. It's not really. It benefits you when you're off on the offense, but it doesn't really benefit you on defense. So all right. Let's see if this double giant bomb can actually work. Alright, we're out of walls here. Sorry, I've been silent. So, kind of idea here is to have hog pathing that trips right over this double giant bomb into a wizard tower, which is not going to be pretty, and then should kill hogs definitely. Obviously, I want pathing to be decent. Hopefully, for the double giant bomb. All right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about engineering. So if I had to gauge Supercell's kind of like reaction to engineering, I think it would be more of like it's not how we intended the game to be played, kind of like the Town Hall, but it's not really ruining anything. So we're gonna let it live and let live. So I feel like I mean I don't know. Obviously I'm not at Supercell, but I feel like that's how they're feeling right now. So like people whining. I mean the people whining. It's not always fair to like anyone when you get a shitty matchup. I mean, uh, it can't be fair. It's hard. It's hard because someone's always going to be on the winning side, and obviously, if you're on the winning side, you're not going to be complaining about how it's not fair. But if you're on the losing side, then wah wah, and then you make some thread about how engineering is stupid and is not fair play or whatever. Boo hoo. Spacing on this is not pretty, so I'm going to try and fix that somehow. In the offset 80s also, there needs to be some work. This is not gonna work, huh? A little too much, you think? Again, pathing isn't ideal here. Oh my god. So hard. I would just have a one-way double giant bomb. I mean, that's the way it's looking right now. Yeah, sure, whatever. Screw pathing. Mostly. Alright, so there it is. Oops. Sorry. Engineering. Oh boy. I mean, I think engineering eventually is going to slowly phase out because you have like leagues like the CWL, which obviously is corrupt as fuck, but if and or rather when it's more, hopefully more not corrupt, then maybe we can have, well, not maybe, but like I think that engineers are going to slowly die out because sure you can make war streaks, but like you're not really going to be like respected or admired, kind of like in the war scene. Kind of a giveaway there for Tesla Farm. I don't know how to finish this out. It makes it too easy for hog pathing. Then again, hogging is gonna be rough, so maybe. Alright, base is a little more fleshed out now. This part is gonna be really nasty against a kill squad. And this Tesla farm, kind of predictable, so make it a little less predictable. And then really like draw the attacker's attention to over here. It's possible either way. So, who knows? still have 40 walls. Alright. You shift the 80 placement quite a bit here. Because I do have the walls for it. Nah, I gotta switch these around too. Out of walls. Then we got 3 more. Actually, maybe not. Alright. Almost done here. TC's practically unlearnable. I'll keep it like that. Alright, so we're gonna wrap up my thoughts on engineering. Okay, so first off, engineering, it's a take and give. I mean, don't think that for a second. It's just, oh, free free war ones. It's not like that. It, it there are payoffs too, definitely. So it's really not like there are trade-offs. So obviously, loot is going to be one of them. So uh, engineer base is not a freebie in terms of like, oh, instant war wins and nothing else. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot of effort put into the base, as I mentioned earlier. Like they go for tons of money. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that I think the like 0.5s, I see them as like progression. So I mean, I don't see anything wrong with them. But at a certain point, you have to decide like instead of deciding to just be like a Town Hall 10 with Town Hall 8 level defense, you have to decide that, okay, I'm not going to engineer anymore, and then that's that. And so like for me, 8.5 was just like a progressing point. I kind of delayed it. So like at one point I was 2020 and contemplating going 20 25 25 with as an 8.5, and then I kind of realized like that's not practical, first of all, because I can't retain loot. So like connecting into the first point, it's a pain in the ass to be a 0.5. And then yeah, so one of the main points as a 0.5 is it's hard to retain loot. So it's going to be even harder for like more engineered accounts to retain loot. Hmm. Alright, we'll keep it like that. And then I think like engineering, I don't think Supercell is going to do that much, but I think that in due time it is going to die out, if slowly. And Supercell obviously is going to be doing some under the hood changes as well, so it's not just going to be like players getting sick of engineering. But I think for the most part, like eventually players are going to get sick, and that's going to be the key. And I don't personally mind engineering. I don't think it's gaming the system, because there are always trade-offs. Like even if it's not uh, loot or like matchmaking, you still kind of have the trade-off of like, okay, so I'm giving up stars. So kind of in that way, I prefer to be max, because when you're max, you have the hitting power of being max, obviously, but then you also get to defend. I think defending is also very important, because otherwise, if you have just like a shit ton of defenses, tunnel 11s, as an example, I'm not like actually saying this, but say you have all defenseless tunnel 11s versus like a bunch of tunnel 8s, it's going to be a perfect war on both sides. So defense is going to be important. And then one thing that someone brought up, which I think is a fair point to mention, is that the engineer clan is always fighting for a win, but the other clan has to fight for a draw. So that is kind of interesting if you think about it, because engineers do have the upper hand with offense, just not defense. So Yeah. Alright, we'll keep one there. You guys can take a look at the base. Alright, base mechanics. Sorry. This is kind of all over the place. It's going to be like, not a clickbait title, but okay. No fly zone, seeking air mines, hounds, seeking air mines, hounds. Wizard Tower all out of range. Kind of the anti-air side with somewhat surprising Tesla Farm. I mean, I think most attackers actually expect it to be here, but it's not. Super high DPS Queen Island, which is intentional to make any entry there hard. Difficulty to hog, so that's important. So yeah, that's basically the base in a nutshell. And let's talk about engineering a little bit more. So I get why people would engineer. I mean, I personally would not engineer just because I don't see the fun in it, first off. Like, I mean, yeah, as a progressing phase into like help your clan, but that's it. I mean, I wouldn't go beyond that. And sorry, I'm just running out of things to say because I don't have a prompt. I think. Closing statement, at least. So, okay. While SC or Supercell, I don't think they intended engineering to be a way to war. I think that kind of like tunnel sniping, it just turned out that way. I mean, tunnel sniping was kind of mutually beneficial to everyone, so I don't know why they removed that. Engineering, not so much, but I don't think they'll take drastic action against it, even though it wasn't. I don't think it was intended. I think that engineering is going to die out slowly as Supercell inputs more under the hood changes, as well as the fact that if you engineer, like, it's hard to retain loot. It's a pain in the ass in multiplayer. It's hard to progress, so it's always hard to like turn back into a max account. So I think that as the popularity of engineering goes down, or sorry, as the appeal of like war leagues go higher and like friendly wars and all that, then the appeal of engineering will go down. And then, of course, I don't find anything wrong with engineering, as people are gonna probably be outraged, but it's a way of playing the game. Probably not intended, but it's a way of playing the game, and there are pros and there are cons. So if you get matched up, always remember that people on the other side are probably happy about that. So like, don't always complain about a good matchup and just be happy. Don't always complain about a bad matchup and feel happy when you get a good matchup, even if it's not engineered. I mean, someone always has to get the short end of the stick. Okay, so I think that sums up my thoughts for this video. It was lots of silences, but less awkward stuttering and stuff. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. If you guys did, please do drop a like. If you guys haven't subbed already, do sub if you enjoy this kind of content. Until next time, shreds out.